Hello! I've never done a stream like this before. This is very new, but I felt like doing something very unnecessary. We're gonna be cutting my hair today, live on stream. As we do it, I'm gonna tell you guys all about my hair over the years and what I've done to it, because I've done a lot of things to it, and that is why we're cutting my hair today. It's very, very damaged. I have pieces missing. I will explain what happened with them. I've prepared pictures of my hair throughout the years, so we're gonna get lots of baby Becca content today. A lot of old Snapchat stories that have not been seen by many people. I've got a couple baby photos of how my hair was when I was really little, so you can see what my natural hair actually looked like. Are we ready to see baby Becca? So my natural hair color when I was little was very, very light brown. This is a picture of me in nursery when I was about 4. That is my natural hair color. It darkened over the years. So it started off very light and like that kind of color for most of my like young childhood. As you can see, very light brown. Like so light brown that it's like, is it blonde? Kinda, maybe. You could call it dark blonde if you wanted to. I see it as light brown because my hair only got more brown over the years rather than more blonde. But yeah, that is me as a child, a very small child. My hair got a lot darker over the years and I grew it out longer. And eventually I did cut in a fringe. I don't have any pictures really of pre-fringe because I didn't take many pictures during that time. But this was me when I just had plain brown hair and a fringe. This is before I ever dyed it. I'd never done anything to my hair. So I guess you could say that's my natural hair, just with a fringe. The fringe was very full on, but I had it for a long time. I cut that fringe in when I was like in year 9 or year 8. No, year 9. When I was in year 9, so when I was like 14. And the fringe was the first step down a very bad road of never wanting to keep the same hair for more than 6 months. And eventually I decided I wanted to dye a piece of it blonde. As you can see, that has stayed with me. But this was the day that I went to dye it blonde, and I'd plaited the piece of hair that I wanted to dye blonde. So this is just before I dyed it blonde that same day. So this is the like most recent pic I can get of before the blonde streak. Like, you can't get more recent than that. So this was the blonde streak. Again, my hair was very long at this stage. We don't want to talk about the eyebrows. They make me want to cry. This is when I first started wearing eyeliner as well. Why am I doing like that facial expression? It makes me want to cry. The blonde streak looked good. I still obviously like the blonde streak. I still have the blonde streak. But was it a gateway? Yes. And then that was all I did for my hair for a while. For at least a year or so. And then I cut it all off because I was in a panto playing Wendy in Peter Pan. And I suddenly decided I wanted short hair. Again, still natural hair color here, other than the blonde streak. But, oh, I've still got pictures from before I cut it. So let me, like, just show some of these. So that was when it was really fucking long. Still feels so weird looking at these. I liked it at this length. This was when it grew out a little bit after I cut it. I don't know when that photo is. But back in this stage, I would wear my hair in this little side plait, like, all the time. But I cut it all off. I grew it out, I cut it off again for a while, for a couple of years. And then when I got to year 12, this was in like year 10, I decided to box dye it for the first time. Enter black hair. This was the box dye. And then later on, I got it professionally dyed black. We love the black hair. The black hair, honestly, I want it back. But you'll see why I'm not getting it back anytime soon. The thing is, even before I went for the black hair, I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna have black hair for a while, and then after that, we're gonna go blonde. Because I always wanted blonde hair, okay? I still want blonde hair. Little did I know that dyeing your hair black, especially when you dye it permanently black with permanent professional black hair dye that doesn't come out, and as good as it looked, it was not the smartest thing I've ever done. Because if I wanted blonde hair, I should have done that first. And I did it on impulse. I literally decided one evening, I want to dye my hair black. And then the next day, I did it. And that's kind of the pattern with a lot of the things that I've done to my hair over the years. Like, I just decide I want to do something to it, and then I do it. As you can see, I'm still not out of that phase, but I really do miss the black hair. Like, I really would go back if it wasn't for what happened afterwards. Is it just me, or is, like, straightening hair so fucking satisfying? I don't do it very often because I try not to damage my hair even further. I also forgot to put heat protectant in. That's fine. The black hair was such a slay, guys. A moment of silence for the black hair, because I'm still sad about it. However, one fateful day, I decided it was finally time to fuck with my hair again. I wanted to go blonde, but I wasn't sure how easy that would be to do. I had no idea how much my hair would lift if I tried bleaching it from the black. So I decided I would only bleach half of it and go for the half and half split dye situation. So I got my sister to help me, and she helped me bleach it. It's easier to show. This is what it looked like after the first bleaching. So I bleached it again. This time I got my mum to help me. It's kind of like a rule in bleaching your hair that you should let your hair get a bit greasy before you bleach it, because the oils will protect your scalp from burning. I didn't do that because I was impatient. So for the first time I bleached it, I didn't let my hair get greasy first, and I just bleached it when I'd already washed it that morning. I put bleach onto my freshly washed scalp, and then about 5 minutes after leaving the bleach on my scalp, after we'd fully put it on, my head was burning. So I washed it off. And that is why it looked like this. My scalp is yellow. The ends barely touched. So I got my mum to help bleach it again, and it was still orange. But I bleached it again the next day. I had to go into college the next week looking like this. I tried using toner, as you can see from the Snapchat. It did fuck all. I tried blue and purple shampoos, both of them. Didn't do anything. I desperately wanted to cover it up because it looked not good, and I really hated it like this. So I had some purple hair dye. I decided to try and cover up the whole side by just dyeing over it purple. And I was hoping that it would dye over the orange, but it didn't. And I ended up with bright purple roots and orange ends. It was really bad, guys. Bear in mind, the goal was to be blonde. It faded very fast, so I just let it fade and cried about it a lot. I asked my friend Maria. She helped me bleach it again in attempt once again to get the orange out. So we bleached it again, and as you can see, my roots were white. I must add, when we bleached multiple times, we did focus on the darker sections and didn't put it again on the other sections. But I believe this was after using toner. It just went white at the roots. And she also cut my hair for me. And then it looked like this. This was the closest I ever got to actually being blonde, but it was still very not. It was fairly blonde, but as you can see, it's like kind of still orange. And this was around the time I started streaming as well, but it still was very uneven. It was very patchy. It was very badly done. But at this point, I concluded I've done enough. I've damaged my hair enough. My hair had been bleached 4 times at this point. This is when it started being really, really badly damaged. My ends were fried. There were a few points where I had to cut pieces off because of how fried they were, including this piece here. You can see this piece is a lot shorter than the rest of my hair. It was that length. I had to cut off about this much and leave it about this short because it was so fried, it felt like straw. I probably shouldn't have cut it off, but I did. So I realized at this point, my hair is fucking damaged. I need to go back to brown. But you see, I couldn't just dye my hair brown again because half of my hair was still black. I didn't want to go back to black because I'd spent so long dyeing it blonde from black. So I was like, okay, I only have one option here, and that is to go back to brown. So I bleached it one final time, but I bleached the other side. This time I didn't touch that side, I just bleached this side, just to lighten it a little bit. And then, if you don't know, In order to go from blonde back to brown, you have to dye it red first, or a shade of orange, because it fills in the tones, because otherwise you might end up green. If you try going straight from blonde to brown, you might end up with green hair. So I had to dye it red first, so I ordered like a light red color. This was only for like 5 minutes, but this was bad. I went back brown. It kind of ended up like an auburny color, which was nice. I really liked it, but it was a lot darker on one side than the other. Like this side, you can see it in this photo, it was a lot darker, but it did look good and I did like it, but it wasn't quite dark enough. So I dyed it darker again. You may be concerned by the color of the hair dye in this picture. I was too, because this is how it turned out. It was such a dark brown, it basically looked almost black again. I'd come full circle. This was the last time I dyed my hair. This was back at the beginning of January. So 5 months ago now. This was my hair just the other day, because I haven't dyed it since dyeing it brown the second time. But yeah, here we are now. I've had this hair color for 5 months now. Still planning on staying this hair color. I'm gonna try and stay this hair color as long as possible. Ideally until my hair is fully virgin again. Whenever I like washed my hair, the top like dries really quickly and then the ends dry like all brittle and horrible. Which is part of the reason I want to cut a load of it off today. So I'm gonna start like prepping my hair for it. I have cut my own hair before. I've kind of been cutting my own hair since the start of the pandemic. But the plan is, you see these broken pieces that we spoke about a minute ago? We're gonna cut all of it to match them. That's how short we're going. But basically my method with this, split it into 4 sections, like front 2, back 2, and then place, like, comb it as straight as possible, and then place a hair tie where I want to cut it, and then just try and make it even across all of them, all 4, and then we cut. But yeah, I've not done it, like, fully by myself. I normally at least get someone to, like, even out the back for me. That looks pretty even to me. I think that's about the length we're gonna go. That's about how much we're gonna— this is kind of a look though. Hello. Do we think they look even, guys? Yes, Bunny. Can I help you? Do you really want to do this? Yes. It's only like 6 inches. That's like 6 months of growth. I've missed having short hair, okay? But let's just do it. You ready? What's happening? Can I go back now? That is a lot of hair. Look, they look different in color. Okay. That is thick. Alright, let me pick these out. Oh wow, this is shorter than I wanted. Maybe I should have gone a little bit longer. It's actually not bad though. Oh my god, it's really short. What do we think? I should have gone a bit longer. Okay, don't panic, Becca. Don't panic. I'm gonna trim these pieces a little bit. I think this is fine. This one's very short now, so I don't know what to do with this big lump of hair. Don't mind me, sorry, I'm just contemplating my life decisions right now.